That's okay. It's Hello and welcome to Talk Sports coverage of Chelsea against Brighton and Hove Albion from Stamford Bridge. I'm your commentator Barry Swain and you're listening to Premier League Live. Chelsea's bid to finish in the top four could hinge on them winning the games they are expected to win. They only just beat Cardiff City on Sunday and that needed 2 late goals and plenty of controversy. Chelsea's form is actually quite good, just the one loss in 7 since they lost in the Carabao Cup final at Wembley against Manchester City. But they will feel the pressure to win tonight against the struggling Brighton side, who are not in London to make things easy, that's for sure. Well, the Seagulls are in trouble, still at the bottom, 5 points clear of the relegation zone, and they've got that one game in hand on Cardiff City. Remember, Fulham and Huddersfield are already down. Cardiff are 5 behind, so this is a big game for Brighton. If they can just take something from it, it would be a major boost. Cardiff go to the Amex very soon. Albion yet to face City, Arsenal and Spurs, as well as a trip to Wolves. It's not a straightforward run-in. They are in trouble. Anything from this game would be priceless. Well, what about the changes? Chelsea have made 7. And Brighton and Hove Albion, well, they've chipped in with 4 of their own ahead of the FA Cup semi-final against Manchester City this weekend. Ruben Loftus-Cheek gets his 40th appearance as a starter in the England international, but even bigger news, Callum Hudson-Odoi gets his first Premier League start. The 18-year-old begins on the wing. Eden Hazard returns to the starting lineup, so does N'Golo Kante. Emerson starts at left back because of an injury to the usual fullback in that position, Alonso. But Andreas Christensen starts at centre half alongside David Luiz. So here's our Chelsea line-up. Kepa Arrizabalaga in goal. Cesar Azpilicueta skippering the side from right back. Both right backs skippering their sides tonight. Andreas Christensen and David Luiz in the middle of the defence. Emerson left back. Jorginho and N'Golo Kante holding the midfield. Ruben Loftus-Cheek and Callum Hudson-Odoi offering width, and Eden Hazard in behind. Olivier Giroud, who has scored 5 goals in his last 4 starts. He's only scored 1 Premier League goal. He is the top scorer in the Europa League. Brighton get this game underway in their green shirts and white shorts. Chelsea in the all blue with the white socks. And Brighton lining up with Matthew Ryan in goal. Bruno the captain at right back. Shane Duffy and Lewis Dunk in the middle of the defence. Gaten Bong coming in at left back. Eames Basuma, Dale Stevens and Davy Propper are unchanged in the middle of that engine room midfield. Solly March coming in on the right hand side of midfield with Anthony Knockaert dropping to the bench. Alireza Jahan Baksh comes in, Iranian, on the left hand side, and Florian Adonu, who's been out for a month, the Romanian, with an injury, is back to replace Glenn Murray in attack. Murray's on the bench for Chelsea. They've got Rudiger, Willian, Higuain, Kovacic, Barkley, Zappacosta, who's back from injury, and Caballero on the bench. For Brighton, Murray, Esquerdo, Knockaert, Byrne, Cahill, Bernardo and goalkeeper David Button are on the bench. Referee today, Graham Scott, Michael McDonough and Neil Davis are the assistants, and Paul Turney is the 4th official, and we've got ourselves underway here. Just feeling their way into the game, these two. A minute gone, Chelsea 0, Brighton and Hove Albion 0. You are listening to Premier League Live, and a quick reminder that we are on Twitter throughout the evening at Talk Sport Live. Great to hear from you wherever you are around the world. Chelsea try and work their way through the gears in the midfield. Jorginho. Early touch for Callum Hudson-Odoi. Started over on the right hand side. Free kick given away by Basuma. Loftus-Cheek to Hazard. Hazard starting wide on the left early on. He's got the overlap from Emerson. Bit of time and space, level with the edge of the penalty area. Comes back inside to Eden Hazard, who goes slightly backwards towards the other full-back. Cesar Azpilicueta, who scored a controversial goal in the win at Cardiff at the weekend. Long ball forward. Giroud wins it in the air down towards Loftus-Cheek, but good defending by Stevens to get the ball away for Brighton and Hove Albion. Just touched forward by Davy Propper, and now a chance to get forward. Propper slips in possession, up on his feet quickly, finding Florian Adone, and back to Bruno. The oldest outfield player in the Premier League, Bruno. He turns 40 later this year. Dunk got a cross-field ball, inch perfect for Bruno. He cushions it back. Duffy clears down the line and out for a throw-in to Chelsea, just inside their own half. I wouldn't say the guns are out for Maurizio Sarri, but he's certainly a man under pressure. Shooting has a better record as a manager than Brighton do as a team coming to Stamford Bridge. He won here in 2010 in the what is now Carabao Cup, the League Cup for Newcastle United, did Chris Hughton. Brighton have been here 4 times before, lost every game, never scored. And looking to break that duck tonight. To throw it to Brighton Hove Albion inside their own half in the right back position. Bruno launches it forward, the Spaniard with the shaven head and the bushy beard. And he's on the ball again now. He looks a fearsome character. He is a lovely guy by all accounts. There's Duffy spreading the ball forward. And Dona does very well to cushion. And David Luiz squeezes him just a little bit too tight on the halfway line, and that's a free kick. 4 minutes gone. Brighton have a free kick just inside Chelsea territory, still 0-0. Reminder, we are on Twitter at TalkSport Live tonight. Wherever you're listening around the world, it'd be good to hear from you. Free kick from Brighton in towards the penalty area. Trying to help it on was the big 6'4" Shane Duffy. All he could do is head it behind with some to spare for a goal kick. Keep across the other games, key to the top and bottom of the Premier League tonight. 3 games in total. Palace go to Tottenham at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, which is opening tonight for the first time. Big occasion for Spurs in North London. Taking a gloss off of this one. The derby against Palace. Chelsea have a free kick. And the other game tonight is the league champions, and for many people the favourites for the title, Manchester City, hosting the Cardiff City side, who are very much entrenched in a relegation battle and could do with some points. Remember this time last season Huddersfield needed some points and went to Manchester City and got a 0-0. What are the chances of Cardiff doing likewise tonight? Keep abreast of all the other 2 games and all the goals as they go in. Here, every inch of coverage from this one as the ball is planted wide towards Hudson-Odoi. A chance for him to tease. Hudson-Odoi to the byline. Still looking for an opening. Instead he finds Jorginho. And all the way back to Azpilicueta, and Chelsea keep it moving. But they'll find Brighton a tough proposition to break down. It's not going to be easy tonight. Here's Eden Hazard. He could be key. Jorginho and Loftus-Cheek. Looks like Loftus-Cheek is operating in a number 10 position more so than Hazard, but Hazard has now gone central. Now Hudson-Odoi, can he get the cross in? Smashes it in against the head of Gaten Bong, and behind for the first corner of the game. 6.5 minutes gone. Chelsea 0, Brighton Hove Albion 0. Great opportunity this to get the ball in for Chelsea. Eden Hazard's going to cross to take it. Played it short. Hudson-Odoi. Hazard goes for the short delivery. Stopped at first knockings by Dale Stevens, who turns it behind. Another corner. That's for Cardiff City, looking to get something out of their visit to Manchester City. 6 minutes on the clock. Kevin De Bruyne with the goal. Manchester City 1, Cardiff City 0. Comes a corner, deeper this time from Hazard. Comes back out to Jorginho. Luis, left hand side, goes all the way back to the halfway line. It's picked up on the halfway line by Emerson. Jorginho seen plenty of the ball early on. Loftus-Cheek cuts inside Stevens. Back to Jorginho. Now Eden Hazard, edge of the penalty area, looking to weave through. Almost got the return from Olivier Giroud. Hurriedly, it's cleared away by Bruno to touch for a Chelsea throw. And Chelsea just starting to turn the screw deep in Brighton territory without so far creating a chance. Emerson's throw, Hazard's touch, Loftus-Cheek gives it away. Launching up towards the halfway line is Davi Proper, looks up and plays it wide to Florian Andone. Andone, the Romanian, checks back, short sleeves and prominent black gloves tonight to keep him warm on what is a chilly evening. We were out in short sleeves on Saturday. Far cry from that tonight. It's cooled down significantly. Here's Davi Proper, midway through the Chelsea half. Proper takes a return from Stevens, happy to go all the way back to Shane Duffy. Squares it to his partner in crime, Lewis Dunk. Those two big 6'4" central defenders in partnership, as they have been pretty much every game for Brighton for the last 2 years since they've been promoted. Offside flag is up against Florian Andone. Romanian is offside. Chelsea have a free kick. Nearly 9 minutes gone. It's Chelsea 0, Brighton and Hove Albion 0. Manchester City leading Cardiff City by 1-0. You can tell you it's still Tottenham Hotspur 0, Crystal Palace 0. Who scored that first goal in the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium? We'll wait to see. Andros Townsend on the bench, by the way, the former Spurs man for Crystal Palace this evening. You heard the whistle there. That was Chris Hughton down below us in the technical area, trying to steer out some orders from the touchline. Brighton have brought 20,000 up from the south coast today. They're making plenty of noise. Clearance downfield from the Australian goalkeeper Matthew Ryan, bounces up and over Jakenbach and out for a throw-in. At the moment Jakenbach is down the right, Solly March down the left. Bong with the crits. Came off of a Chelsea man. It's going to be a Brighton throw. Right in their change strip tonight with green shirts, white shorts, green socks. Can't quite get used to them as Brighton colours. Of course they had to change. Brighton go to Wembley on Saturday to take on Manchester City in the FA Cup semi-final. Rested one or two tonight. This is largely their full-strength squad. Nice play in the middle of the park between Jorginho and Emerson. And now N'Golo Kante wide towards Hudson-Odoi, who cuts inside. Hudson-Odoi deflected over the top of the crossbar. First real chance of the evening for Chelsea, and it was the 18-year-old debutant who cut inside. He's looking lively down the right-hand side. Hudson-Odoi. His shot was placed towards goal, but knocked over the top of his own crossbar by the outstretched left leg of Shane Duffy. Corner to Chelsea. Eden Hazard to take. It's a good delivery. In goes Giroud, took a bash to the head and at the same time glanced the ball over the top of the crossbar and out for a goal kick. Six clean sheets in their last 9 home games. Chelsea have got a decent home record. They've only lost here once this season. 1 loss in the last 7. Controversy and late drama kind of provided a smokescreen to what was a poor performance at Cardiff City on Saturday, but they come away with the 3 points. They would, Chelsea, move above Manchester United into 4th place tonight. Potentially they could go above Spurs into 4th place. Could go into the top 4 depending on the Spurs result. They'll need a goal swing of 8 or so to get the better of Arsenal. Jorginho tries to put the ball forward, takes a deflection off of Stevens and comes back to Loftus-Cheek. Emerson, Brazilian, born Italian international. As we suspected, Brighton hard to break down. Hudson-Odoi, nicely done. Eden Hazard, left-hand side. Wide to Emerson, he looks up, plots the ball across the face of the 6-yard box, but there were no one in blue there to take the chance. And Brighton are able to smuggle the ball away for now at least. Chelsea asking the questions. No one prepared to take a gamble. Higuain on the bench tonight, as is Kovacic, as is Willian, as is Barkley. As Barkley scoring 2 in 2 recently on international duty for England. 1 assist and no goals in his last 15 Premier League though for Chelsea. He's not showing the same form for Chelsea as he has for his country. Here's David Luiz in the centre circle, all on his own, plenty of time. Right-footed ball out wide. Azpilicueta's cross is blocked, comes to Jorginho. Nicely done by Hudson-Odoi, who continues his run down the right-hand side. It's fed by Azpilicueta. Knocks it against the defender, or at least he aimed to knock it against Solly March. The goal kick has been given, to the annoyance of Hudson-Odoi and the surrounding Chelsea players. It must have just nicked off of Hudson-Odoi's boot, right under the nose of the assistant referee, who is Neil Davies tonight. Nice smile on his face. I think he did get it right. Just brushed the boot of Hudson-Odoi on its way out. His first England start just a couple of weeks ago. His first Premier League start tonight. He started some cup games in Chelsea blue. Chance to shine tonight. Back with Matthew Ryan, former Club Brugge and Valencia goalkeeper, the Australian international. Drops it from his hands, boots it 3/4 the length of the field. It's a good flick on by Andone, trying to release the run of Jack and Bash. Chelsea have it back with Christensen towards Hudson-Odoi. Hudson-Odoi again off of Kante, who gets it wide very quickly. Kante pods it forward. Giroud out wide to Kante again. Little lob over the head of the defender. Kante goes down. Referee had a good view and says no foul. And it's eventually gone behind for a goal kick. Referee Graham Scott was buying into nothing there. He did go down a little too easy for my liking, but he did get manhandled by Gaëtan Bong. Well, VAR might have taken a dim view to that Gaëtan Bong challenge. Good play that from Chelsea down the right hand side. Giroud to Kante over the top of Bong's head, and then down he goes. It could have been given. Still 0-0. Brighton haven't created anything so far, but they're on the attack into the penalty area, but in an offside position is Andone. Eden Hazard has just been challenged by Duffy. It was pretty hefty from behind. Hazard has stayed down. Duffy has been penalised. So a free kick then to Chelsea is going to be taken by David Luiz. Takes it short to Jorginho. Back to Luiz again. Azpilicueta. Manchester City leading Cardiff by 1-0. They would go back to the top of the table tonight, and they would be the first team to reach 80 points in this season's Premier League. Remember, Fulham lost 4-1 at Watford last night, joined Huddersfield Town in being relegated super quick time down to the Championship. Still one place to be filled. It looks like Cardiff. Brighton could yet get sucked into it. They've got to play Cardiff. They've got a tough run in, including tonight. They could do with something here tonight, Brighton, ahead of the FA Cup trip to Wembley in the semi-final. Ball through the middle. Giroud lofts it up in the air. It's turned away by Bruno. Not a particularly good clearance. Jorginho squeezing it out wide. It does eventually find Hudson-Odoi. He's got the overlap from Azpilicueta, but checks back. Jorginho lifts it into the penalty area. Giroud takes it on his chest, tries to swivel and volley towards goal. He's blocked out by a combination of Duffy and Dunk, and it just takes the pace off the ball. Matthew Ryan is able to pick up the loose ball, and the danger is averted for Brighton and Hove Albion. Interesting battle between the big guys there, Duffy and Dunk against Olivier Giroud. They're all 6'4". All big men that like a battle. Here's Jorginho up towards the halfway line for Chelsea in a central position. Looks left, Eden Hazard to Loftus-Cheek, edge of the penalty area towards the left-hand side, out towards the overlapping fullback Emerson. Emerson checking back to Jorginho. Jorginho to Loftus-Cheek, tries to get on the return from Giroud, doesn't, but here is Emerson into the penalty area, tries a shot, deflected away. Gaëtan Bong then stoops and heads up towards the halfway line. It's a good header away. Stevens plants the ball towards the left-hand side and towards Solly March, but doesn't get enough distance, and Chelsea very quickly have the ball back. And they can attack now through Proper. Big roar from their travelling faithful. Jack and Bash with the deep cross. It's turned across the face of goal and into the side netting from Florian Adone. In fact, it was Solly March. It was arriving from the left-hand side, turned it back into the side netting. It was covered by goalkeeper Arrizabalaga. That was the first real sighting of goal for Brighton this evening. 19 minutes gone, 0-0. Jorginho, the Italian. Azpilicueta. Hudson-Odoi. Doesn't look like a player that's played his first Premier League game. He's done very well so far. Here he is again. He wants the ball. He's getting the ball. His teammates certainly have trust in him. Comes back to Christensen. Andreas Christensen. 16 starts for Chelsea. 19 starts for Chelsea. They've won 16 of them. Eden Hazard's flick, read well by Duffy. And Bruno toward Jack and Bash. Bruno again. Playing keep ball in their own half under pressure here. Albright, Dale Stevens. Shane Duffy back to goalkeeper Matthew Ryan, who can clear up towards the halfway line. Good touch from Florian Andone. Andone with 5 goals in all competitions this season. Spread wide to the left-hand side, and Solly March. He's got the overlap from Gaëtan Bong, who's not going to get forward that often. So a lazy ball from Solly March wasn't exactly what Gaëtan Bong had in mind when he dashed 30 yards down the line on the overlap. He's having to scurry back now as Chelsea manoeuvre forward. N'Golo Kante can't control. It's like he's been shifted sideways to allow Jorginho to rule the roost in the centre. Doesn't quite seem right. And it doesn't sit comfortably with many Chelsea fans. But he's back in tonight. N'Golo Kante. Gianfranco Zola barking out the orders alongside the number 1. Maurizio Sarri. Will he be number 1 next season? That's a big question. Roman Abramovich has employed 11 different managers during his regime here. Doesn't take a lot for him to wield the axe. Giving the ball away in a sloppy fashion, Chelsea. Picked up by Stevens. Back to Gaëtan Bong in the left-back position, edge of his own penalty area, left-hand side. Looks up, plays a good ball forward. In towards David Proper, who can sprint towards the Chelsea penalty area. Looks up and finds Solly March, left-hand side. Solly March pulls it back again. David Proper looked for the shot, didn't quite find the room, but here's Stevens, prods it out towards the right-hand side. The overlapping Bruno, who's committed himself forward. He's fallen to ground under his own duress. Here's Eden Hazard. It's a great solo run from Eden Hazard from the edge of his own penalty area. He's gone up towards the halfway line. Little 1-2 with Kante, but he couldn't kick the ball. And he's back with goalkeeper Matthew Ryan. 22 minutes gone, and Brighton sticking to their game plan so far. Chelsea have not had too many chances. Hudson-Odoi's shot deflected over the top of the crossbar. Kante had a penalty shout, which was turned away by a referee, Graham Scott. That was sides. They've prodded, they've probed. and they've found themselves confronted by a rather well organised wall of green, Chelsea, this evening. Building up from the back with Duffy. There's Bruno. Given away by Proper. He tried to cushion the ball to Stevens. Here's Hazard. 25 yards out, central position. Eden Hazard weaving his way into the penalty area. He's got to the byline. He's stretching. He got the last touch. It's a goal kick. Well, midway point of the first half here. Chelsea 0, Brighton Hove Albion 0. Manchester City leading thanks to that Kevin De Bruyne goal against Cardiff City at the Etihad, at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Still Tottenham Hotspur 0, Crystal Palace. Yeah. Driven goal kick. Ryan. Here's Eden Hazard again, cuts inside. Attempt of a challenge from Stevens, put him off his stride. And now Jakenbash, quickly confronted by Jorginho. Jakenbash still has the ball and switches it from right to left. Inch perfect for Solly March, who looks up, trying to get the better of Hudson-Odoi, pinches it off of him, plays it inside to Jorginho, midway inside the Chelsea half, scurrying forward as Chelsea fans urge their team forward. N'Golo Kante. Kante again. He just fills that void on the right-hand side of a central three with, seems, Loftus-Cheek filling the opposite. It's just not N'Golo Kante. Azpilicueta. Hudson-Odoi. Now N'Golo Kante trying to make room for a shot. He's never going to be able to find a shot from 25 yards with a number of green shirts around him. So taking over is Hudson-Odoi. Loftus-Cheek has a look up, lifts the ball over towards Azpilicueta, takes it on his chest and just rolls it inside to Hudson-Odoi. His crossfield ball partially cleared by Jakenbash, picked up again by Hazard. Now Emerson with a cross, headed away by Bruno, only as far as Hazard battling away with Davy Proper. Takes 3 Chelsea players to win it off of Proper, one of them being Loftus-Cheek. Now Christensen. Jorginho looks up, finds Giroud. Pinball in there before Brighton eventually cleared up towards the halfway line. One thing's for sure, when Brighton go to Wembley on Saturday, it'll be very noisy. But on Sunday for Watford against Wolves, really looking forward to that one as well. 2 cracking semi-finals coming up in the FA Cup. You can hear them both here as well. The Emirates FA Cup live with TalkSport Live. Don't forget, we're on Twitter at TalkSport Live. Wherever you're listening around the world, we want to hear from you. There's Hudson-Odoi making a good impression on his first Premier League start. Ball in towards Giroud, just a little too high. Does glance it towards goal, but it falls a few yards wide. Frustrated look on the face of Olivier Giroud, who's feeding on scraps at the moment. It's still Chelsea 0, Brighton and Hove Albion 0. Goal kick to Brighton and Hove Albion. So that goal kick is going to be taken by the Australian Matthew Ryan. Drills it into the opposition half. Flick on towards Andone. Trying to create something with Jakenbash. Up to Stevens. Not getting the ball. Edged away by Hudson-Odoi, who's working tirelessly down the right-hand side, and this is where he can turn on the burners. Solly March is no slouch though, and is kept with him stride by stride all the way into deep Brighton territory. Now Loftus-Cheek out towards Emerson in a left-back position, takes the return from Eden Hazard. Emerson inside towards Jorginho, rolls it into to Loftus-Cheek, wide towards Eden Hazard. Still going Hazard, trying to find an angle in which to either play a probing ball or get the shot in. In the end he has to make do with a slide rule pass to Loftus-Cheek, who keeps it moving. Jorginho wide towards Azpilicueta. Azpilicueta tangling with Solly March, who comes away with the ball. He's a tough little character, Solly March, and he certainly won that battle against Azpilicueta. But Chelsea have it back. Kante, Jorginho in towards Hazard. Trying to get the return to him was Olivier Giroud. Momentarily, Brighton clear it, only as far as Loftus-Cheek. Jorginho again, Loftus-Cheek touched off by Hazard, takes the return again from Kante. Good challenge coming in from Duffy. Now the cross from Hudson-Odoi, swept towards goal by Olivier Giroud, and it was blocked off by the tight marking of Shane Duffy, who done ever so well, and Brighton get it away. It's a great ball in. Giroud was quickly closed down by two players, Shane Duffy and Bruno. Basically overlapped one another to ensure there was a mountain of bodies between the two of them to block the shot. Stopping play at the moment is for an injury to Solly March. Gives me the opportunity to tell you about some forthcoming games that you can listen to right here on Premier League Live. What about Friday night? Well, John Anderson and David Connolly will be at St Mary's. What a big game this is. Southampton against Liverpool. Important at both ends of the table with both title and relegation. Saints need the points as much as Liverpool do. That's in St Mary's. Friday night, John Anderson and David Connolly. Saturday afternoon, Dan Wheeler's here along with Paul Mortimer. They're at St James's Park. Newcastle United against Crystal Palace. That's followed by Brighton's trip to Wembley against Manchester City. FA Cup semi-final, Emirates FA Cup. Tom Rennick, the commentator, alongside the former City man Steve Lomax for that one. Should be a great weekend of football. More games as well coming on Sunday. It's full on at the moment. Solly March has stayed down. There'll be a concern. He doesn't want to miss out on a date at Wembley. He's back on his feet. He got tangled up with Azpilicueta. Just seemed to jar his right foot. He's making his way over towards the technical area with a frown on his face. And he's going to come off, and Anthony Knockaert is coming on. That could be a big blow. He would have probably been a guaranteed starter at the weekend. So the first change, Anthony Knockaert coming on for Solly March, the Frenchman, former Standard Liège and Leicester City winger. More offensive as a player, Knockaert, than Solly March, probably against how Chris Hughton wanted to set up for this game. He's a go-to man, is Solly March, for Chris Hughton. Established Premier League player as well now. Donate won't let it stick though. Chelsea. Here's Emerson. Plays it inside, but it's won well by Davy Proper. Helped on by Adone. Proper and Adone still scrapping for the loose ball. Chelsea show a little bit of class and pinging the ball about 2, 3, 4 passes at the edge of the penalty area, and they're off and away with Jorginho through the midfield. Loftus-Cheek on the left-hand side. Even further left is Emerson on the halfway line. Back to Loftus-Cheek. Shifting through the gears here, Chelsea. Slowing things down is Jorginho. Back to David Luiz. He wants a bit of movement off the ball from his fellow Blues. Instead he goes square to Andreas Christensen. Back to Luiz again. Now Jorginho, the go-to man in that midfield, wide to Hudson-Odoi. Hudson-Odoi brings it down, pulls it back. Azpilicueta back to Hudson-Odoi again, trying to stretch Knockaert, gets the cross in, and it's a glancing header, but it's over the top of the crossbar. The header from Azpilicueta, and he scored on the weekend against Cardiff City, but this time his header is way off target. And that is what Chelsea have been restricted to in the opening 33 minutes here at Stamford Bridge. Chelsea 0, Brighton Hove Albion 0. Remember, Chelsea have made 7 changes tonight, Brighton 4 changes. One in the midfield from Yves Bissouma, a Mali international, summer signing from the French Ligue 1 side Lille. It's taken time to settle in, but he's now getting a few starts for Brighton Hove Albion. Here come Chelsea. Emerson, left back position, just over the halfway line, takes it on his chest, rolls it inside to Loftus-Cheek. Jorginho, lovely flick by Giroud, trying to link up with Hazard, but Brighton are wise to it, clear through their goalkeeper Matthew Ryan, up towards the halfway line. Good touch from Andone, but the loose ball is picked up by Jorginho, a summer signing from Napoli, where he made over 100 first-team appearances. Only as again, Jorginho, no one's touched the ball more than him. A header away from Bruno. Nice touch in the midfield from Proper. Takes it up towards Andone. He's a good hold-up man. He's a good target man, Andone. He's won that ball well. Gets it wide to Jahanbash. Throw into Brighton. Level with the edge of the Chelsea penalty area. 11 minutes to half-time. Chelsea 0, Brighton Hove Albion 0. You're listening to Premier League Live on Twitter at Talk Sport Live. Elsewhere, Manchester City leading Cardiff City thanks to that Kevin De Bruyne goal after just 6 minutes. Spurs Palace, the London derby at the new Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, is all square at 0 each. Long throw from Bruno. It's a good flick from Duffy. Eventually away from Kante, but only as far as Bissouma. Bissouma gets the better of Hudson-Odoi. Can he get the cross in though? Gets to the byline. He's done very well here, Bissouma. Can he get the pull back? It's turned across the face of goal and it wouldn't quite come through. It was Ndone with a touch, but Jamba couldn't quite get there. Here's Hazard back defending. And eventually Emerson flicks it off of Jambach. And out for a goal kick. So still 0-0 here. Brighton fans are making plenty of noise. Here come Chelsea. N'Golo Kante's pass was a poor one, and Bruno gets it clear. Slowed down by Christensen, who's had a very comfortable evening at the heart of that Chelsea defence. Nothing really going on at that end of the stadium. Here's David Luiz, chance for him to wander forward and add an extra body for Chelsea going forward. Long ball forward, Eden Hazard on the volley, best chance of the evening for Chelsea, and he's thundered it straight over the top of the crossbar and into the Brighton crowds. A grimace on the face of the Belgian. Who knows, he should have done better there, the Belgian. He just thrashed it over the top. 9 times out of 10, Eden Hazard smashes that into the corner of the net. He was just leaning back. You expect a player of the quality to Eden Hazard to take the net off there. Took out Rosette instead. Chelsea, Manchester City, Tottenham all at home against the lower half opposition tonight. You expected on the accumulator to be 3 home wins. Only 1 goal in the whole Premier League so far, and half-time is only 8 minutes away. It's 0-0 here. Chelsea haven't had too many sightings of goal. That's why that was a big miss for Chelsea. Eden Hazard has left his shooting boots at home. Well, in the dressing room at least. I'm not going to put them on at half-time. David Luiz screws it forward, it finds Kante. Loftus-Cheek. Wide to the left-hand side, Emerson, the Italian international. Loftus-Cheek again. There's Hazard, weaving his way forward. The best option is out on the right. Hudson-Odoi up against Knockaert. Hudson-Odoi's ball in, brilliant finish. And Olivier Giroud is on fine scoring form when he starts for Chelsea. He just doesn't start very often, but when he does, he knows where the net is, and Chelsea take the lead on 38 minutes. Olivier Giroud, right place, right time, near post finish from point blank range. Chelsea are finally able to make the breakthrough. It's Chelsea 1, Brighton Hove Albion 0. And it's made by Callum Hudson-Odoi. Eden Hazard runs into a cul-de-sac. One option, that was to sweep it wide. Hudson-Odoi teasing Knockaert, drives it into the near post, and with the outside of the left foot, Olivier Giroud is able to get in front of his marker for the first time this evening and steers the ball into the roof of the net. A very good finish. It's 6 goals in his last 5 starts for Chelsea. He just can't seem to get too many starts. The top scorer in the Europa League is only his 2nd goal in the Premier League. Olivier Giroud, first Premier League goal for Chelsea at Stamford Bridge this season, and he can't hide his delight, celebrating with the Chelsea fans. Chelsea finally had the breakthrough. And they come again. Loftus-Cheek, suddenly Brighton are opening up. Here's Eden Hazard, flicks it past Yarnbach, who comes away with the ball at the second time of asking. David Proper giving it away. N'Golo Kante picks up the loose ball and exchanges a couple of little short 1-2s with the man standing right next to him, Emerson. Now Hazard, he's starting to shine into the penalty area. Eden Hazard, Emerson pulls it back, can't quite find Hazard, and Duffy is able to mop things up and find Yarnbach, who clears up towards the halfway line, but only as far as Jorginho. Now Hazard, who's getting a little bit more air time. Kante. Forward by Jorginho. Loftus-Cheek. Now David Luiz in on the action. Jorginho looks up. Brighton have got to be careful. From 0-0, they could suddenly be 2-0 down if they're not careful. Yarnbach bundling Eden Hazard down right in front of the Brighton fans. Nothing given. Things stand, with the results as they are, Chelsea would go up into the top 4 tonight. Spurs, remember, only drawing. They would go above Manchester United with a victory here. Staring into space as he thinks about what to say in 4 minutes. That's how far we've got to go before half time is upon us. 4+ injury time. Here's Eden Hazard. Still driving Hazard, still going, and eventually he wins himself a free kick. It's fouled on the edge of the penalty area by Dale Stevens. This is shooting territory. Hazard has the capability, Kante has the capability, Jorginho has the capability. There are a long list of players that have the capability. And top of that list is David Luiz, who is standing over the ball and saying, I fancy this one. Matthew Ryan is busy lining up a wall. Brighton could find themselves in trouble here. The left foot of Emerson is also an option. He's standing there as well. Luiz is destined to strike this. It's slightly left of centre, just a couple of yards away from the box to give you an indication. The wall is inside the box just. David Luiz, that curly flowing locks blowing in the wind, and he hits the free kick straight into the Brighton wall, loops up and into the Brighton crowd behind the goal. And a corner to Chelsea, who are very much in the ascendancy at the moment. Brighton want half-time to come. They need half-time before they fall out of sight here. Fourth Chelsea corner of the game. It's whipped in by Hazard. Headed away by Stevens. And then by Basuma. Back by Emerson to the largely redundant Kepa Arrizabalaga. David Luiz midway inside his own half. Plenty of time, plenty of space, and at walking pace he strolls to Christensen. Christensen's return from Kante. He's gone behind him, so he's had to scurry back. Lost the momentum a moment here, Chelsea. Jorginho. Luiz slowly up towards the halfway line, then goes square to the left back. Emerson lofts it inside to Andreas Christensen, Danish international. Wants a long ball forward, which is dealt with well by David Proper. Now Yambash. Kept in well by Emerson. Chelsea want the throw. Chelsea get the throw. Back to Luiz and inside to Andreas Christensen. Strolling through the centre circle unaided. Unchallenged. Hudson-Odoi, first touch for him since he set up the opening goal. Here's the man that scored it, Olivier Giroud. Not the greatest of balls to Loftus-Cheek, but he's found Emerson, and wide on this left-hand side is Eden Hazard. There's always a buzz when Hazard receives the ball. Jorginho lofts it forward. Gakpong heads it away under the watchful eye of Hudson-Odoi, and then Gakpong clears this time up towards the halfway line. Azpilicueta wins it back. Olivier Giroud does ever so well to peel off his marker and play it wide to Eden Hazard. Hazard into the penalty area, lofts it over the goalkeeper across the face of goal, and then Hudson-Odoi takes a wild swing at it and misses it completely, and that's one for the blooper reel. Well, Hudson-Odoi missed it, Kante missed it. Chelsea should have been 2-0 up. Suddenly Brighton are breaking as we enter first half stoppage time, but they've slowed up in their attempt to get the ball forward quickly. Well, Hudson-Odoi took a wild swing there. I think he was lining up a right-footed drive from an angle into the top corner through a crowd. It was one that you lie in bed dreaming of for days on end, and when the Premier League debut comes along, the chance falls to you, and ouch, completely missed the ball, Hudson-Odoi. Won't want to see that one again in a hurry, but he's done well first half, the teenager. Shouldn't let that worry him. He's been one of Chelsea's better players, and he's got himself an assist. Here come Chelsea. Olivier Giroud. Leroy Sané has scored a second for Manchester City on the stroke of half-time. It's now 2-0 at the Etihad. Manchester City 2, Cardiff City 0. It's a lovely ball in from Hazard. Kante attacked it too soon. He went underneath the ball. And as it comes to Hudson-Odoi, he takes a wild swing and it goes through his legs. It's one that you can laugh at. I don't think he'll be laughing too often at any replays that have shown the Callum Hudson-Odoi wild swing, but the England international has done enough in his first half to enable most people to quickly forget about that moment. So, thrown to Chelsea, surely scooped out by Davy Proper, caught off the pitch by Jack and Bash, who then decided he was going to take the throw in anyway. 2 minutes of added time, by the way, and we've eaten into that 2 minutes already. Time flies when you're enjoying yourself, and Chelsea have enjoyed their last 10-15 minutes of this first half after struggling to prise open Brighton for much of the first half. But as soon as the goal came along, they've moved up a gear and they've looked much the better sides. Chelsea deserving their lead at half-time, and it came courtesy of another goal from Olivier Giroud, but an assist from Callum Hudson-Odoi. His cross turned in from close range for Olivier Giroud to score his 12th goal of the season, only his second in the Premier League. At half-time, Chelsea lead Brighton here at Stamford Bridge by 1-0. You're listening to Premier League Live. Now let's hand you back to our main match this evening. The commentary team of Tom Rennie and Kevin Watson. Now at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. It's Spurs against Crystal Palace.
Stadium. It is Tottenham 0, Crystal Palace 0. Analysis to follow and highlights from all of our games this evening when we come back. You're listening to Premier League Live.
The Premier League preview show with Talk Sport.
Pogba leaves it, Rashford hits it, oh it's a goal, it's the first goal of the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer era.
Talk Sport's Premier League experts give their views ahead of the weekend's action.
Joining us on the preview show, the former Arsenal striker and most stylish man in football, Jeremy Aliadier. I didn't want him here, but he's turned up anyway. It's the former Chelsea man, Clive Walker.
Subscribe to the podcast today at talksport.com.
If you're outside the UK and Ireland, we've got you covered. TalkSport's international service covers every Premier League match live. Full commentary, pre- and post-match analysis, and goals as they go in from every single Premier League match.
Has a run of Sterling to find, and he does find him in the area. Raheem Sterling for a hat-trick here! And the hat-trick is gobbled up by Raheem Sterling. What a player this young man is.
Tries to play it forward. Hayward puts it up in the air. Comes down. Chance for 3-2. It is 3-2. Perez scores again. Well, it's times to be a Geordie fan from 2-0 down to 3-2 up.
Kick-by-kick commentary, expert opinion, international coverage of the world's most exciting football league.
Really good delivery from Knockout. Here's the ball into the back of the net. And Antony has scored for Brighton. There is the breakthrough.
And Wolves win possession through Jimenez. Jimenez is going to go himself. There's another chance here. Come for 2-0 possibly. Jimenez! Raúl Jimenez, 2-0 to Wolves. And Cardiff are now all at sea.
Every game is covered. Get involved in debates. Ask in-game questions to our commentary team and get goal updates with @TalkSport Live on Twitter.
First time touch trying to find Lukaku. He's broken his way and Lukaku's bent it into the bottom corner for what may well prove to be the winning goal in the final minute of the 90.
He's usually unerring from the spot. Harry Kane, he's scored all his last 5 spot kicks. He faces Bernd Leno and scores again! And Tottenham Hotspur have levelled with 16 minutes to go. Harry Kane has now got 9 goals in 9 games against the Gunners. It's Tottenham Hotspur 1, Arsenal 1.
Premier League Live, brought to you by TalkSport Live.
Go to TalkSport.com and sign up now to play the free TalkSport Predictor game. Predict the results of the English Premier League games this season for the chance to win top-flight weekly prizes. From the Gunners getting away goals at Anfield to epic finishes at the Etihad. Click TalkSport.com/predictor and register now for the chance to go top of the table in the Ultimate Football Fan Tournament. The TalkSport English Premier League Predictor game. Available online and for free at TalkSport.com/predictor.
This is Premier League Live.
Welcome back to Premier League Live. We are enjoying here a half-time light show at the brand new Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Gone the days of the big pylons in each corner of the ground. There are 324 floodlights mounted on the underside of the stadium's roof in clusters of 6, and they are giving us a lovely half-time light show. At least that's been entertaining, and to be fair, the pre-game concert with our operatic guest was pretty good as well. The football, not so much. Still goalless at the moment. Let's get the very best though of the first half, and we'll get the goals from our other games this evening where both Chelsea and Manchester City are winning.
Goes back to Laporta. Here he is looking for an option. The Spanish defending plays it through brilliantly to De Bruyne. He pulls it across the face of goal and scores from an impossible angle. And Manchester City take the lead. Kevin De Bruyne shakes his head. I'm sure it was accidental, but either way, the Belgian midfielder gives Manchester City the lead.
He will then put the ball forward towards Batshuayi, cleared away and straight to Harry Kane, and he will find Eriksen, and Eriksen is through, but he was well tracked by Patrick Van Aanholt. Arnholt, who put a last-ditch challenge in.
Up against Knockout. Hudson-Odoi's ball in, brilliant finish. And Olivier Giroud is on fine scoring form when he starts for Chelsea. He just doesn't start very often, but when he does, he knows where the net is, and Chelsea take the lead on 38 minutes.
Sissoko challenges MacArthur, and he finds a pass to Eriksen too. He'll then find Son, and Son has Danny Rose, and Danny Rose is through. Oh no! He looked for the pass to Kane when the shot was on. Danny Rose, what were you thinking? Crystal Palace survived.
Stones goes up, Laporte leaves it, Sane strikes it low and hard into the back of the net. And just before half-time, Leroy Sane doubles Manchester City's lead here at the Etihad.
So Man City are winning their game up against Cardiff, just 2-0 at the moment for the champions, who go back top with victory this evening. Chelsea winning their game as well, as you just heard, up against Brighton, who are not out of relegation trouble as yet. Chelsea would climb above Spurs tonight and go in the Champions League positions if results stay as they are. Here it's 0-0. Kev Watson alongside me, former Spurs midfielder. Is there any suggestion Spurs have been overawed by the occasion, or is that an excuse for this side who haven't scored as yet?
Not so sure they've been overawed. I just think the run they're on, they're lacking a little bit of confidence, especially in the final third with the decision making. Eriksen, Dele Alli's looked pretty sharp, to be honest, but Danny Rose has been in a couple of good areas. Trippier's been in down the right, and it just seems at the minute their final ball is letting them down.
Is it a mistake to be playing Danny Rose in such an advanced position? Lucas Moura is fit, he's on the bench.
It might be. I mean, I guess we'll have to wait and see. I mean, Danny Rose, he did start as a player higher up on the left as a youngster, so he can do it, and normally has good quality, but the chance where Son puts him through, he's literally left it straight in front of him to say, go on Danny, it's on your left foot, strike it across the goal. Any save will take it into the path of Kane, put it in, but there's just no room to find Harry Kane, and Harry Kane is standing behind James Tompkins.
Christian Eriksen has had 3 or 4 half-decent moments, I won't say chances, but he's run diagonal and maybe could have controlled it a couple of times and hasn't. Mentioned in commentary some Spurs fan friends of mine, yes, I do have them, they said he's not been playing particularly well of late. Is that something you concur with, and what's his performance tonight been like?
It's been okay. He's not done anything too difficult. He's kept the ball moving, his movement's been good, he's got in a couple of times in behind the Palace back four with that diagonal run, found by Dele Alli twice. The first time I wasn't so sure, it looked like he didn't know where the keeper was, Gaeta, and almost thought, well, I'm going to get smashed here, so he's let it go, and the ball's just drifted harmlessly off the pitch. The second time, his momentum's taking him forward, he's at a turn and check, and as the ball hits his chest, it goes backwards, and he falls to the floor, he slips over, but he's getting in good positions. He's doing okay this evening.
62,062 in attendance, 3,000 of those are Crystal Palace fans, and they won't have been treated with too much attacking intent this evening, but in general they've been pretty comfortable.
They've been very comfortable, yeah. They've forced Tottenham into wide areas. They've very rarely got through the middle of the pitch, Tottenham, and when crosses come in, invariably it's been onto the head of James Tompkins, whose positioning has been outstanding tonight. What I would say is when they do break up play and when they do go forward, the ball has to stick with Batshuayi much better than it is. Otherwise it will just come back, and for 90% of that half, Vertonghen and Alderweireld are reading balls forward, just stepping in front of him and starting play off again. He's got to get his body in the way, hold it up, allow bodies to get around him so Palace can move up the pitch.
Do you think we'll see Andros Townsend this evening, who has been carrying this team at points this season?
Possibly, yes. I think the longer it stays 0-0, the more reluctant Hodgson will be to make changes. I think the one change I would most certainly look at if it continues the way it's going is Benteke for Batshuayi.
Not often Benteke is thought of as the saviour, but
yeah,
maybe he can make that ball stick up top. Care for the moment, thank you very much indeed. Elsewhere, it's been a week of big stories in the Premier League. On Saturday, we saw Huddersfield Town confirm their relegation to the Championship. Last night, Fulham joined them in the second tier, thrashed at the hands of Watford. 2 teams down at the very start of April. Let's react now to Fulham dropping out of the Premier League with 5 games to go.
And there goes the full-time whistle here at John Smith Stadium, and Fulham are now bottom of the Premier League.
Literally half the players looked like they couldn't wait for the final whistle in the first 10 minutes.
Fulham have sacked their manager Slavisa Jokanovic. They've already got his replacement, Claudio Ranieri.
The Fulham board think that Ranieri was the guy to get him out of this situation. They should sleep on it. And if they wake up in the morning and they still thought it was a good idea, I thought they should go back to bed.
This is game over at Craven Cottage. It's gone silent here. It's Fulham 0, United 3. I believe that they haven't quite got a grip of this division yet.
Fulham have sacked Claudio Ranieri. First team coach Scott Parker has been appointed as caretaker manager until the end of this season.
There's only so many more weeks I can sit here going, I believe we can stay up.
Fulham, their 9th defeat on the bounce, their winless away run continues, and they have a 5-game long goodbye to the Premier League now to endure. They're down and the inquest can officially begin. Russ, it's finished here, Watford 4, Fulham 1.
I'll tell you what, we put that package together earlier on. We were looking for negative moments from Fulham's season. We could have made 7 hours worth of content there, cut down to about 90 seconds. Fulham are now in the Championship. Fulham and Huddersfield gone. It's just the second time in a Premier League campaign where 2 teams have been relegated with at least 5 games remaining. Also happened back in 94-95 when Leicester and Ipswich both went. Kev, just on Fulham's relegation from last night, has been such a terrible, terrible season. Last 2 times they've been relegated, they've had 3 managers in those campaigns, but this time around £100 million spent, and yet no one has really worked out.
No, absolutely not, and I think that's the thing that won't sit right, not only with Fulham fans but everyone who's seen that team go down. £100 million worth of investment, and from the get-go, poor, really poor. He stuck with it, the first guy stuck with the team and the players he had when they come up, and I think they should have given him much more time than they did. Sometimes it's better the devil you know. Ranieri didn't work, and then poor Scott Parker's come into a team that were just waiting to be relegated. Defensively, an absolute shambles this year.
A few games to go for both of those teams. Hopefully they'll give the fans something to cheer. Hopefully Spurs will give their fans something to cheer in their first game at this ground in the second half. At the break between them and Crystal Palace, it is goalless. The second half is next. You're listening to Premier League Live.
There's more to life than football, money and fun. Well, not much. Kick off the new season with TalkSport's £1 million Predictor game.
Register now at TalkSport.com/predictor and play for free throughout the season.
Play it in the van. Play it on the can. Play it with your gran.
Win £1 million sterling.
It's the biggest prize in the history of TalkSport.
The TalkSport £1 million Predictor game. Players must be 18 or over. See TalkSport.com/predictor for full conditions.
If you're outside the UK and Ireland, we've got you covered. TalkSport's international service covers every Premier League match live. Full commentary, pre- and post-match analysis, and goals as they go in from every single Premier League match.
Kane now on his left foot, bends a shot, what a goal from Harry Kane! MBE! Stunning finish with his left foot into the top corner. It's wonderful from Spurs. It's magnificent from Harry Kane. No wonder the Queen wanted to bestow an honour upon him. What a goal to celebrate.
Every game is covered. Get involved in debates. Ask in-game questions to our commentary team and get goal updates with @TalkSport Live on Twitter.
Salah's running himself to take this one. Van Dijk's there. Lovren's there. Fabinho's there to open his account for Liverpool. And just as City go 2-1 down at Leicester, Liverpool stamp their authority at Anfield. Yet more. Liverpool 4, Newcastle 0. Title challenge on. Are they now the favourites?
Kick-by-kick commentary, expert opinion, international coverage of the world's most exciting football league.
Aubameyang through to Torreira inside the area. Torreira scores! And surely now, North London is red again. Arsenal 4, Tottenham 2. Here's Maddison for Leicester. Vardy chance, Vardy goal. Leicester City out of nowhere have got the lead. Jamie Vardy, who's been virtually anonymous this afternoon, isn't anymore. Wonderful finish by Vardy, and it's Chelsea 0, Leicester
Manchester City 1.
Premier League Live, brought to you by TalkSport Live.
Hello and welcome back to TalkSport's coverage of Chelsea against Brighton and Hove Albion from Stamford Bridge. I'm your commentator Barry Swain and you are listening to Premier League Live. The two teams are out, the referee's out, you heard him blow his whistle, the second half is underway. Chelsea leading by 1-0. And ever since Solly March limped out of this game, and you suspect he would be a doubt for Wembley on Saturday against Manchester City. That's a crucial blow for Brighton Hove Albion, by the way. Since he's gone off and Knockaert has come on, Chelsea have grabbed hold of this game by the proverbials and they have taken the lead, and they have looked very much better than they were in the opening half an hour. Chelsea leading by 1-0 thanks to that goal from Olivier Giroud. There's Azpilicueta right down by the corner flag. He's gone downfield to attack, but Knockaert's back to take it off of him. Cleared away by Gaetenbong, and then Dorné quite nicked up with either Knockaert or Basuma. Brighton do get it clear, only as far as Christensen. We'll go through the two lineups in just a second. No changes at half time for either side. Chelsea try and feed the ball forward, but Brighton are wise to it. Giroud tries to win it back, but Stevens goes back to Duffy and then Dunk. Here's how Chelsea line up. Kepa, Arrizabalaga in goal. Back four of Cesar, Azpilicueta, Andreas Christensen, David Luiz and Emerson. Jorginho and N'Golo Kante are the two middle midfielders. Ruben Loftus-Cheek in front of them. It's Odoi picks the ball up on the right hand side. It's a good tackle coming in by Knockaert, but he can't clear. We'll go for the rest of that Chelsea lineup in just a second. We will get there. Here's Hazard. Brighton managed to get it clear. Callum Hudson-Odoi, Ruben Loftus-Cheek, Eden Hazard and Olivier Giroud are the four forward-thinking players. Go through their subs in the Brighton lineup in just a second. Here's Stevens for Brighton, switches the ball from right to left and finds Knockaert, cushions it back inside to Basuma. Basuma steps past N'Golo Kante, still going here. Basuma tries to get the cross in, it's deflected away only as far as Knockaert. Knockaert lifts it across the face of goal. No real danger. It comes through on the other side for Proper on the right hand side. Takes a touch, gets a cross in. It's a good stretching header away by Andreas Christensen, and Chelsea can break quickly downfield with Loftus-Cheek over the halfway line, slightly left of centre. He's got an option outside him. That option is Eden Hazard. Hazard teasing his way towards the edge of the penalty area, cutting inside. Bruno coming on the outside now, tries to get the cross in. Chelsea have a corner, gives us a chance to run through the subs for Chelsea. Antonio Rudiger, Willian, Gonzalo Higuain, Mateo Kovacic, Ross Barkley, David Zappacosta, who's back from injury, the Italian international, and the goalkeeper Willy Caballero. Go for that Brighton side in just a second. Corner to Chelsea. It's going to be taken by Eden Hazard. Hazard's corner. It's deep. It's found the head of Luiz. It's gone backwards rather than forwards. Christensen, Luiz trying to twist his way through three green-shirted players, gets the cross in straight into the midriff of goalkeeper Matthew Ryan, who gets down and holds it the first time of asking and drives a long low ball up towards the halfway line, just sliced into touch by Emerson. The Brighton Hove Albion lineup: Matthew Ryan in goal, Bruno, Shane Duffy, Lewis Dunk and Gaetenbong at the back four. Two changes at fullback for Brighton this evening. He's Basuma, Dale Stevens and Davy Proper holding up the midfield. Ali Raza, Janbach and Anthony Knockaert, who's on for the injured Solly Marsh, and the two wide man Florin and Donek is in attack. Glenn Murray, Jose Escuero, Dan Burn, the big central defender, Biram Kale, Bernardo and David Button, the goalkeeper, are on the bench for Brighton. Slipped by Knockaert. Chelsea have possession with Azpilicueta. Inside it goes from Jorginho. Takes the return from Loftus-Cheek. Here's Loftus-Cheek again. Nice touch to him from Eden Hazard. Loftus-Cheek looks inside and finds Kante. Kante plays a 1-2 with his midfield colleague Jorginho. David Luiz strolling into the Brighton half and looking for a long ball over towards the left hand side. Attacking it is Emerson. Emerson's done ever so well to get around the back of Duffy, but his header goes straight out of play for a throw-in for a goal kick, I should say, to Brighton and Hove Albion. Still Chelsea 1, Brighton and Hove Albion 0. You are listening to Premier League Live. We are on Twitter at TalkSport Live, wherever you are listening around the world. Half times elsewhere. Manchester City leading Cardiff by 2-0. Complete control for them now. Not for there in that game at the Etihad. Not at Tottenham though. Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, still 0-0. There's Basuma. No free kick given. Roar from the Brighton fans, who certainly felt it should have been a free kick. I come to agree with them. Here come Chelsea. Eden Hazard picks it up centrally and knocks it to the left, where he finds Emerson. Emerson back to Hazard. Hazard looks for runners, switches it to the right this time. Inch perfect for Hudson-Odoi. Takes a couple of touches onto his left foot, spins one into the box, just too high for Olivier Giroud. It's gone behind for a goal kick. 5.5 minutes gone in the second half. Chelsea leading Brighton and Hove Albion by 1-0. First Premier League start for Callum Hudson-Odoi. He'll be pleased with his performance so far. Assist for the Olivier Giroud goal. Basuma just about links up with Ndone, but it's picked up by Kante. Azpilicueta plays the way he's facing, all the way back to his goalkeeper. Now Jorginho picks the ball up on the edge of his own penalty area, drives up towards the halfway line, not so much as a mere challenge from the green of Brighton, who are happy to retreat back behind the ball. Switch to the left hand side where Emerson can cut inside. Jorginho again, turning the full circle, finding Kante, back to David Luiz. So Emerson on the outside, but he's looking at something a little bit more ambitious straight down the middle, but it was given away rather sloppily by David Luiz, and now Brighton can attack down the left-hand side with the right-hand side rather, with Knockaert. Knockaert has given the ball away though. Gabby Proper's trying to win it back. Hazard turns away from him as if he wasn't there, and he's shown him a clean pair of heels as well. Still Eden Hazard looks to the right-hand side and plays an inch-perfect ball to Hudson-Odoi. Hudson-Odoi in towards the penalty area. Still going Hudson-Odoi, looking for an outlet. Just to check back to the right-hand side. Kante. Eden Hazard. Kante again. Now Jorginho. Kante. Hudson-Odoi driving towards the edge of the penalty area, flicking it wide. Eden Hazard. Hudson-Odoi. It's a poor ball inside. Stevens robbed him of it. And David Proper plays it out towards Bruno. The 39-year-old has to scurry. Just about gets there in time. And Knockaert, who's currently operating down on the right-hand side, with Yenbach coming on the left-hand side. Brighton are able to clear. Stevens back to Duffy. Wide to Bruno. Stevens again. Ball down the line has gone out of play before it reaches its intended target with Florian Ndone. Right, they've only got 11 points away from home. The bottom three, Cardiff, Fulham and Huddersfield, have got worse records away from home in the Premier League this season. Here's Eden Hazard. 3 green shirts in front of him. That might stop him from teasing. Right on the edge of the penalty area, left hand side. Goes back to Jorginho. Shouts of shoot, but he doesn't. Plays it over to the right hand side. Hudson-Odoi trying to get the better of Bong. Rolls it to Azpilicueta. His cross is blocked by Bong, and he expects of another Chelsea corner. 9 minutes gone in the second half. Chelsea still leading here by that Olivier Giroud goal to 0. Corner to Chelsea, driven in. Wasn't a particularly good one from Hazard. One back by David Luiz, who takes a tumble. No foul though. Here's Hazard again. Looks up. Has the vision to find Hudson-Odoi on the right-hand side. Turn of pace to getting past Knockaert. Gets the cross in Turned away this time by Lewis Dunk towards Andoni on this left-hand side. Plays it inside to Basuma, who shakes off N'Golo Kante. N'Golo Kante keeps biting back and wins the ball. And here's Loftus-Cheek, winner late on against Cardiff on Saturday, trying to weave his way through to the Brighton penalty area and eventually cleared away. Eden Hazard comes deep, left-hand side, picking the ball up, strolling forward. Brighton retreating back, 10 minutes gone now in the second half. Jorginho back to Hazard again, looks up to the left-hand side and finds Emerson, the Italian international, born in Brazil, back to the Belgian at walking pace. And Hazard teasing Brighton. 11 meetings between these two in leagues down the years, 11 victories for Chelsea in cups and leagues. In the league it's 7. Here's Eden Hazard. It's nice from Loftus-Cheek. Jorginho, lovely ball in. Hudson-Odoi, we have the goalkeeper to beat from point blank range, but unfortunately he just didn't have enough room to get the header past Ryan, who'd closed the gap and managed to make the block. It was a good chance though. Hudson-Odoi closed out by Gaten Bong, who did just enough. It actually came off of Gaten Bong's head. I'm saying about the Chelsea-Brighton league record. It's played 7 in leagues, not just the Premier League, but the whole First Division and Second Division as well. It's played 7. Chelsea have won all 7. In the history of the Football League and the Premier League, there is only one confrontation elsewhere which is more one-sided, and that is played 8, 1-8, so that would be level. That confrontation is actually, see on our monitors here, a picture of Gus Poyet watching from up in the stand. It's a confrontation between League 2 Wimbledon, as they are now, and Bournemouth in the Premier League. And Wimbledon have won all 8 league meetings between those two sides down the years. That is the most one-sided matchup in the whole of the Football League. This one will equal the record if Chelsea can hold on for the victory tonight. Here's Jorginho. Hudson-Odoi through the gap to the right-hand side. Azpilicueta brings it back to N'Golo Kante, who uncharacteristically can't control. Hudson-Odoi picks up the loose ball. Now Chelsea trying to probe their way through the middle with Loftus-Cheek. His attempted pass is blocked, but it's back to him. Now Hazard. Now Jorginho. Times they do slow things right down, Chelsea, but they are heading towards the top 4 as things stand. Tottenham 0, Palace 0. Remains the score at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Lifted wide by Jorginho. This is Emerson. Good defending by Bruno. And Bruno was fouled by Emerson, who can't quite believe he's been penalised. 39-year-old Son Sprawling. And Brighton have a free kick. 58 minutes gone. Chelsea 1, Brighton 0. You're listening to Premier League Live. That's Talk Sport Live on Twitter. There has been a goal, the first goal at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. And the goal scorer of the first goal at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium is a Tottenham Hotspur player. It's not an own goal either. Heung-min Son, 10 minutes into the second half, gives Spurs the lead. It's Tottenham Hotspur 1, Crystal Palace 0. So maybe Chelsea's ambitions of being in the top 4 when they wake up tomorrow not suddenly looking quite so realistic, but they will go above Manchester United into 5th as things stand on tonight's results. We expected 3 home wins. We didn't expect Brighton, Cardiff and Palace to score too many goals. We've scored none between them. But Chelsea, Man City and Tottenham have only scored 4 between them. And we've nearly reached the hour mark, but it looks like we're heading towards 3 home wins. But this one's still tight. Tottenham Palace is still tight, 1-0. David Luiz, wide to Emerson, inside to Eden Hazard, who had a slow start to the game, but he's come more and more into it. Jorginho Hazard, edge of the penalty area. Eden Hazard, lovely touch. Eden Hazard, that is magical. Eden Hazard at his absolute best. A jink inside and a cheeky chip that was out of the reach of Matthew Ryan and into the back of the net, and Chelsea lead now by 2-0. That is brilliant from Eden Hazard. There is nothing you can do to tame Eden Hazard when he does something like that. Pure magic. Chelsea 2, Brighton 0. Jorginho got it started. Hazard was fed by Emerson and then just cuts inside, and it's the cheekiest of chips, really. Little dummy sold Stevens, and he just places it over the goalkeeper and into the top corner. It is absolutely brilliant from Eden Hazard. Just placement with a chip into the corner. That's what he's so good at, Eden Hazard. And on the hour mark, Chelsea double their advantage, and surely now they're heading towards 3 points. Brighton, well, they've never scored on this ground. They're going to have to score 2 just to take a point. And their relegation worries won't ease tonight, I don't think. Here come Brighton with ball down the left-hand side. Jan Baks gets it into the box. Christensen gets height and distance on his clearance, finding Hudson-Odoi. Turns away from Bissouma, but turns himself into lots of trouble. Dunk, just over the halfway line for Brighton. Goes back to Duffy, back to Dunk again. Now Stevens cuts it inside to Davy Proper. Hasn't got too many options, the Dutch international. PSV and Vitesse Arnhem player. Clearance, it's gone straight out of play and into touch on this near side from Matthew Ryan, who shakes his head, the goalkeeper. Azpilicueta plays the way he's facing, which is all the way back to Christensen, who goes all the way back to Kepa Arrizabalaga, who has been underused tonight, to say the least. I don't think Brighton are going to gamble on Glenn Murray. They'll save him for Saturday. Equally big fish to fry, probably a bigger fish actually, in Manchester City at Wembley. You never know, in a one-off cup game on neutral soil. Shooting will make it difficult for City. They'll need a bit of luck. Here's Jorginho. Hazard again, lovely touch. Loftus-Cheek opens up, curls it, top corner, 3-0, beautiful goal. Loftus-Cheek scored on Saturday at Cardiff. He scored an absolute pearler there, and Chelsea are stretching their lead. Brighton are out of sight. Chelsea 3, Brighton 0. Three goals for Chelsea, 2 of them coming in the last 4 minutes. Brighton and Hove Albion have just been slapped around the face and put out of sight. Chelsea are starting to swagger here, something they haven't done too often in the second half of this season. And Loftus-Cheek opened himself up, placed the ball pretty much exactly where Eden Hazard placed the ball about 4 minutes ago, into that far top corner. It's a beautiful goal. It's a great goal. Ruben Loftus-Cheek. Excellent finishing. If there's any doubt Chelsea are going to struggle against dogged Brighton, who have eyes on Wembley, then once Solly March limped off and it left Brighton slightly exposed. I don't think that Chelsea would have scored that first goal if Solly March was on the pitch, personally. Lockhart was unable to stop the supply line at source from Loftus-Cheek. I think Solly March would have done more. It would have been a different game. Will Solly March be fit on Saturday is the big question. A big blow to Brighton. Damage limitation for Brighton now, though. Here's Kante, can't quite find Loftus-Cheek. Olivier Giroud, Hazard, and now Loftus-Cheek, and now Kante. Loftus-Cheek again, this time he keeps it low. The shot is just wide. Too many people have made a big deal that Chelsea's home form this season has actually been pretty good. Glenn Murray is talking to Paul Trollope, the assistant manager of Brighton. He's going to get ready to come on. Just getting the ball forward and it's not sticking at the moment. Just maybe asking one or two questions of this Chelsea defence who've had it easy tonight. Ball up towards the penalty area. Done was unable to get there before the goalkeeper Luisa Balaga, who comes out, gathers, balls it out and finds Jorginho. I think it's had a very good game, unspectacular, but doesn't give the ball away too often. He keeps Chelsea ticking. And David Luiz picks the ball up from Luisa Balaga, strolling up towards the halfway line, finding Jorginho. Kante. Cheek, who was sent tumbling by Basuma. Basuma actually has taken a knock as well. They're both Vincent Adoy and Basuma. I think that's a bang of knees. They've both gone down clutching their knees. So a break in play for a couple of injuries gives us a chance to look ahead to the weekend. And we've got some smashing action coming your way. Friday night, Liverpool go to Southampton in need of points in their quest for the title. John Anderson will be our commentator, David Connolly alongside him at St Mary's. That's Friday evening. Saturday afternoon, join Dan Wheeler and Paul Mortimer right here on Premier League Live at St James's Park. Newcastle United against Crystal Palace, and that's followed by a humdinger from Wembley, the FA Cup semi-final and the Emirates FA Cup. Tom Rennie and Steve Lomas will be at Wembley for Manchester City against Brighton and Hove Albion. We're just having another look at the brilliant goal from Eden Hazard. And the equally brilliant goal from Ruben Loftus-Cheek. Still a break in play through injury. Don't forget, the best way to look forward to the Premier League weekend is to subscribe to TalkSport's Premier League Preview Show podcast. It's out every Thursday. Catch Tom Rennie and his guests as they talk all things Premier League. Every Thursday, a podcast that's a must for all Premier League fans all over the world. Download it, stream it, subscribe to it. Well, up on his feet and making a full recovery is Yves Bissouma, who uses the opportunity to take a water bottle out of Adam Johnson, the physio's bag. There's a lot of fluid on board. Midway point of the second half. Chelsea in complete control. Giroud with the flick. Away it goes from Dunk. Behind for a corner. Chelsea 3-0 up here. Manchester City 2-0 up at home to Cardiff. Spurs have made the breakthrough against Palace. 1-0 up thanks to the goal from Song. Chelsea are looking for more. He would go level with Arsenal. 8 goals, so they've still got another 5 to get. They're not going to do that tonight. Right, they're not going to give it away that easily. Jorginho to Loftus-Cheek, slows things down. Back to Jorginho again. Wide to Emerson. Loftus-Cheek, Jorginho again. Playing the ball around well here, Chelsea. Wide it goes to Emerson. Bit of a swagger back in the stride of Chelsea, driven on by this little man, Eden Hazard. Played a part in the first goal, scored the second goal. Chelsea on the ascendancy. Here's Emerson. Eden Hazard again. Great ball in. Kante should have been 4. He's punted it over the top of the crossbar from inside the 6-yard box. Why, a smile on the Frenchman's face. He really should have scored that. Great ball in again from Eden Hazard. N'Golo Kante steered that one over the top of the crossbar with his shin pad. He gets over it, it's 4-0. So Florian Andone is coming off, and it's Glenn Murray to come on. Former Bournemouth Palace man, started his career at Workington. I'm sure he's had colder nights than this. He's played for Workington. Cumbria on the coast there, that's a chilly place to go into January, let me tell you. There's Basuma. Wide to Janbach. Down the middle it goes. Stick for Knockout. Chelsea have it back again. Chelsea gliding through the gears, 3-0 up here. Christensen. Jorginho. Forward by Azpilicueta. Hazard. Tripped. Free kick. Right to centre, shooting range, proper with the trip on Hazard. Just dragged the ball back here, Hazard. Lovely skill, but his trailing left foot was taken away by Proper. Referee tonight, Graham Scott from Oxfordshire. He's quick to award the free kick. Graham Scott, the 50-year-old. He first refereed in the Premier League back in 2014. Three-man wall. Eden Hazard is standing over it, but his stance suggests that this is going to be a cross rather than a shot. I've sent the big men forward. The referee just ensuring that the wall is its full 10-yard quota. Here's Hazard with a free kick, floats it high. 2 6'4" centre of defenders get it away between them. And Azpilicueta cushions it forward, but over the head of Giroud and out for a goal kick to Brighton. Chelsea about to make a change. Zappacosta is coming on. He's coming on for Azpilicueta. Back from injury. David Luiz is probably handed the captain's arm back. What are you going to get with him? David Zappacosta. Will slot straight in where Azpilicueta has departed. N'Golo Kante that heads the ball out for a throw-in to Brighton. Dale Stevens. It's a long ball forward down the line towards Knockout, but he was thundered at Knockout. Not the type of game that Knockout has been able to introduce himself to. He is a threat going forward, but he's had to do more defending than attacking tonight, and that's exactly what he's doing at the moment. Even lost his cheek. Jorginho. Luis. Jorginho. There have been times when Jorginho has been the butt of criticism. I still don't think this Chelsea system utilises N'Golo Kante as it should. But I think he's had a smashing game tonight, Jorginho. Zappacosta, quick dummy from him. And we're going to see Bernardo coming on for Brighton Hove Albion. Brazilian fullback is going to make his entrance, and Ali Reza Yangbach is coming off. Final change of the evening for Brighton. Hazard. Top of him though by Stevens. Get Bob. Foul by Christensen on Murray, and a free kick to Brighton. Brighton fans have made plenty of noise, having travelled up from the south coast. It's not too far to travel. 15 minutes to go. They're just hoping that they can get one goal back. Knockout free kick just inside the Chelsea half, lifted in towards the penalty area. Out comes Arrizabalaga. It's probably the most stretched he's been all night, coming out to the edge of his penalty area and punching. Punch has gone to Hazard. Now N'Golo Kante inside to Ruben Loftus-Cheek, who intelligently switches it to the right hand side where Zappacosta finds Hudson-Odoi. He's been quieter this second half, but he'll be on the whole very pleased with his performance on his first Premier League start. Emerson in the left back position, back to Jorginho. Now Hazard slows down to walking pace, as he so often does. He's faced by 3 green shirts in front of him. The changes with Emerson, finding Jorginho, who skips past Stevens. To the left again. Emerson. Jorginho. Christensen. And now Zappacosta in the right back position. Not a green shirt, within 30 yards of him. Strolls forward at leisure. Jorginho. Flick was nearly a productive one from Olivier Giroud. Now Brighton can break. Davy Proper to Glenn Murray. Backhills it back to Proper again, just inside the Chelsea half, wide on the right. Basuma turning in the centre circle. He's got N'Golo Kante to tackle now. Gets past him. He has to go sideways to do so, exchanging passes with Proper, and then goes all the way back into his own half and finds Bruno, the 39-year-old, and rolls it inside to the centre circle where Stevens exchanges a 1-2 with Proper and then plays it out to the left-hand side. Nice play from Bernardo. Cross coming in from knockout, cleared away by Chelsea. They've been very good tonight. Zappacosta straight into Bernard. No bomb. Back out to Knockout. Knockout driving forward for Brighton. And Basuma. He's keeping the ball at the moment. Brighton. With Lewis Dunk on the halfway line. Wide to this near side Bernardo. Bomb. Keeping possession well here, Brighton. They've stopped Chelsea from dominating. It's their best passage of play all evening. They must have strung together a good 30-35 passes or so, and they've gained a grand total of no yards. But along the ball forward this time does find Bernardo, edge of the penalty area. If they were to put a goal on the end of this, it would be a spectacular one. Knockout to the byline. Can he get the cross in? And it does take a deflection, and it brushes into the side netting. It's as close as Brighton have come all evening. And at least they do have a corner to show for it. It's their first corner of the evening. They really haven't created much at all. They've never scored on this ground. They've never really looked like breaking that dunk. They've got 2 6'4" central defenders that have gone forward for this corner. It's their first corner of the game. Chelsea have had 7. It's a deep corner. Taken on by Proper. It's back to Bernard. And Bernardo smashed it through the sea of blue shirts. And for the first time this evening, Kipper Arrizabalaga gets down and makes, well, it's a comfortable save, but it's the most he's been tested all evening with 11 minutes to go. It's the closest Brighton have come. It's their first shot on goal. Substitute Bernardo. action, took the sting off the ball, and it was no real trouble for Arrizabalaga. Jorginho. Hudson-Odoi now operating on the left-hand side. Hazard operating on the right. Brighton fans making a noise, but it's Chelsea that are purring at the moment, leading here by 3-0. There's David Luiz in the heart of the defence. Not really had too much to deal with tonight. There's a ball forward towards Olivier Giroud, took it on his thigh, but it just ran away from him. It's a good run from Giroud. Grimace is in the face, but he's done well. Ryan right towards Dunk. Down the line it goes to Bernardo. Bong. Good hold up play from Murray. It's what he's so good at. Basuma. Proper. To the right hand side. Manchester City still 2-0 up on Cardiff. Spurs 1-0 up on Palace in their new stadium. This game's got about 10 minutes to go. It's a lovely weaving run from Lockhart. Tries to curl it. Ooze from the Brighton Hove Albion fans, but in all honesty, it was well wide of target. Chelsea are just about to throw on their second change, and they're going to bring on Kostic, and they're going to take off Ruben Loftus-Cheek. They will be very happy to be on the score sheet for the second game in a row. He's getting a run in the Chelsea side at the moment, and he's scoring goals to boot. He'll be delighted. Man on loan from Real Madrid, Mateo Kovacic. He's on to replace him. Chelsea, by the way, the only team in the Premier League without a red card this season. Include the victory at Millwall on penalties in the FA Cup. Brighton have actually won 4 of their last 6. They're in decent form. Need some league points to take them away from the threat of Cardiff, but Cardiff are losing tonight. Here's N'Golo Kante. Ball runs away from him. Dunk takes it off of him, but presents a chance to Kovacic, rather. And Hudson-Odoi leads it up. Eden Hazard leans back with a volley and smashes it wide of the target. It bounces into the ground. He just scuffed it slightly. Play again by Hudson-Odoi, nonchalantly feeding it to Eden Hazard, who fluffed his line slightly. Eden Hazard. Chelsea about to introduce Willian. He's going to come on for Mr. Eden Hazard. It means that Hudson-Odoi gets the full 90 minutes. Spurs 2-0 up now at home against Crystal Palace. They've made their new home a right proper home. Christian Eriksen with a second. Spurs 2, Crystal Palace 0 with 10 minutes to go at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Here's Kante, back to Zappacosta, knocks it down the line off of Bernardo and out for a throw-in. That's the Brighton fans singing, "We're going to Wembley." They've struggled to contain Chelsea. Their work cut out on Saturday against Manchester City on that big Wembley pitch. How they would love to replicate the Cup final appearance of 1983. They were relegated that season. What are the chances of that happening again this year? Relegation and a Cup final appearance. It's still possible. onus is on Cardiff City to find points from somewhere. Brighton could make themselves safe if they beat Cardiff City in a couple of weeks' time. Chelsea next in action on Monday with a home game here against West Ham. Then on the Thursday they go to Slavia Prague in the Europa League. For Liverpool come here on Sunday the 14th. If Chelsea are firing like this, that could be a big game in the title race, as well as the battle for the top four. And then Slavia Prague come here on Thursday the 18th. Games coming thick and fast. Manchester City in the Cup for Brighton on Saturday, then home games against Bournemouth and Cardiff, and a trip to Wolves. Winnable games in the league after the Manchester City Cup semi-final. N'Golo Kante, Jorginho intertwines with Kovacic. Kovacic takes control, skips past the tired-looking Stevens, trying to take the return off of Kante. Done well, Kovacic. Kante rattling in to try and win the ball back. Chelsea determined, and they do win the ball back. Zappa Costa in the right back position. Great cross, just too high for Olivier Giroud, and cleared away by Duffy. Start again. Jorginho. Hudson-Odoi. Kovacic. Towards Olivier Giroud. Smashes it just a little bit too hard for poor old Emerson. Not quite sure what his intentions there were. Olivier Giroud thumped it. It's a big smile on the face of Emerson. I think he's forgiven him. 1 or 2 heading for the exits. Often frowned upon, but it is a midweek. School will work tomorrow. Chelsea have done their business here. There might still be some icing on the cake though. Zuma can't keep the ball in. Throw to Chelsea. Have a look on the monitor of the replay of the Bernardo shot. It did go through a crowd and straight at the goalkeeper, Arrizabalaga. It's really been the only chance of the night. Keep the ball in play there, Emerson in the left back position in the Brighton half. It's out of play. It's a throw into Brighton. Brighton just want the clock to tick. 2.5 minutes plus injury time. It's Brighton fans, every single one of them standing up in the away end. They'll be back in the capital on Saturday afternoon for an FA Cup semi-final. They will relish a long overdue appearance at Wembley. Be forgiven for having one eye on that showpiece on Saturday evening. You can hear it right here on Saturday afternoon. The game kicking off 5:30 UK time. Tom Rennie and Steve Lomas will be your commentators for that. That's right off the back of the Premier League game on Premier League Live. Dan Wheeler and Paul Mortimer, the commentary team for Newcastle against Crystal Palace. Don't forget Friday night, Southampton against Liverpool right here. John Anderson and David Connolly will be at St Mary's for that. Plenty of great action coming your way right here on Premier League Live over the next 3 or 4 days. The business end of the football season. Chelsea have gone about their business in pretty professional fashion tonight. They've dispatched of the FA Cup semi-finalists Brighton. With a minute to go. They're just keeping the ball. The game is at dead rubber. Has been since Ruben Loftus-Cheek found the back of the net on 63 minutes. Fourth now would really kill the game off. Zappa Costa into the box. Bernardo is tenacious and got there first, and Bong clears up towards the halfway line. Basuma shows too much of it to Kovacic. One back by Kante, deflects it forward. Cross comes Dunk to take control and then squares it to Duffy. He's under a bit of pressure. 2 blue shirts quickly converge on him. So it's rolled across to Bruno. Bruno's ball down the line. It's quickly won back by Chelsea. Hudson-Odoi, full of the tricks, full of the dancing. So keeps the ball for Chelsea. Back to Kovacic. Jorginho. Kovacic. Manchester City and Spurs both winning their home games tonight by 2-0. Chelsea have gone one better. Here's Willian. Kovacic. Trying to win that ball back is Emerson, who's retreated a long way down the pitch, the full-back for Chelsea. Hudson-Odoi chests the ball down. He's on the halfway line for Chelsea. 3 minutes of added time, says tonight's fourth official, Paul Tierney. Jorginho. Kovacic. Proper. Deflected it straight back to Kovacic. Nice by Christensen. Not so nice from Christensen though. So he gives it away. Trying to win it back. He's gone in for the tackle. Didn't really get much of anything there. And then Glenn Murray finds himself in a bit of space over on the right hand side. And on the side was Knockout. Caught a little in two lines. Hudson-Odoi showing that there's a defensive quality about the young teenager as well, dashing back into the penalty area and winning the ball back off of Knockout. Good play from him. Only 1 of the 3 minutes of added time. I see the point of playing the full quota, but this game is all over and done. Kovacic. Yes. Hudson-Odoi to Kovacic again. No urgency from Chelsea now. They've done what they've needed to do, win this game and comfortably. Just want to keep the clean sheet. Looks once again as though Brighton have failed in their quest to score their first goal in history at Stamford Bridge. The hopes are they'll come back next season in the Premier League. I think they'll have enough to survive. Last game of the season, Brighton is at home to Manchester City. They won't want something riding on that, especially if City are in a title race. Long ball forward to Zappacosta, down by the corner flag. Up against Bernardo. Zappacosta leaning into Bernardo, and that's a free kick to Brighton. It's a feisty it's quite big. It's a feisty player, Bernardo. He's a big favourite with the Brighton fans. He's a competitor. That's for sure. Here he is now on the ball. Basuma. Stevens back to Dunk. Sprays it long downfield. It's a great ball as well. And here's Knockout. But he didn't turn up with the finish. It's a real chance for Brighton and Hove Albion. It's basically the last kick of the game. Brighton and Hove Albion have never ever scored at Stamford Bridge. And this is probably as good a chance as they've got in the 5 visits here. Knockout through, keeper to beat, takes it down and inexplicably turns it well wide of target. That was indeed the last of the action. Comprehensive from Chelsea. They've only lost 1 of their last 8. They are quietly finding some decent form. They were at times sublime tonight and saw off Brighton and Hove Albion. First goal coming from Olivier Giroud, and then second half pearlers from Eden Hazard and then Ruben Loftus-Cheek. Ensured the 3 points at Chelsea, 3 goals to boot. Brighton and Hove Albion will have their eyes on Wembley in the FA Cup on Saturday against Manchester City in the semi-final. Final score here this evening at Stamford Bridge. It's finished Chelsea 3, Brighton and Hove Albion 0. Thank you for your company over the last 90 minutes. You're listening to Premier League Live. Now let's hand you back to our main commentary match and the commentary team of Tom Remy and Kevin Watson. They're at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Spurs against Palace.
Towards goal, it will be saved by the goalkeeper, so nearly icing on the artisanal cake, but stopped by the Crystal Palace goalkeeper.
What a goal that would have been. What a goal that would have been. Ericsson, what a lovely pick out. Moura takes it in his stride, runs away from the defender, great save.
Final whistle has now gone from Andre Mariner, and Tottenham Hotspur in the inaugural match at this stadium who picked up a comfortable 2-0 victory against Crystal Palace. Heung-min Son on 56 minutes and Christian Eriksen on 81, the historic goal scorers. And its result, away from the history of it all, which sees Tottenham Hotspur climb back above Arsenal into third in the Premier League, and that would be Champions League qualification, though they have played a game more than the Gunners. Analysis to follow in just a few moments' time. You're listening to Premier League Live.
Premier League preview show with Talk Sport.
Pogba leaves it, Rashford hits it, oh, it's a goal, it's the first goal of the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer era.
Talk Sport's Premier League experts give their views ahead of the weekend's action.
Joining us on the preview show, the former Arsenal striker and most stylish man in football, Jeremy Aliadier. I didn't want him here, but he's turned up anyway. Here's the former Chelsea man, Clive Walker.
Subscribe to the podcast today at talksport.com.
If you're outside the UK and Ireland, we've got you covered. TalkSport's international service covers every Premier League match live. Full commentary, pre- and post-match analysis, and goals as they go in from every single Premier League match.
Has a run of Sterling to find, and he does find him in the area. Raheem Sterling for a hat-trick here! And the hat-trick is gobbled up by Raheem Sterling. What a player this young man is.
Tries to play it forward. Hayward puts it up in the air. Comes down. Charge for 3-2. It is 3-2. Perez scores again. Well, it's times to be a Geordie fan from 2-0 down to 3-2 up.
Kick-by-kick commentary, expert opinion, international coverage of the world's most exciting football league.
Really good delivery from Knockout. Here's the ball into the back of the net. And Andone has scored for Brighton. There is the breakthrough.
And Wolves with possession through Jimenez. Jimenez is going to go himself. There's another chance here. Go for 2-0 possibly. Jimenez! Raul Jimenez, 2-0 to Wolves. And Cardiff are now all at sea.
Every game is covered. Get involved in debates. Ask in-game questions to our commentary team and get goal updates with @TalkSport Live on Twitter.
This time trying to find Lukaku. He's broken his way and Lukaku's bent it into the bottom corner for what may well prove to be the winning goal in the final minute of the 90.
He's usually unerring from the spot, Harry Kane. He's scored all his last 5 spot kicks. He faces Bernd Leno and scores again! And Tottenham Hotspur have levelled with 16 minutes to go. Harry Kane has now got 9 goals in 9 games against the Gunners. It's Tottenham Hotspur 1, Arsenal 1.
Premier League Live, brought to you by TalkSport Live.
Go to TalkSport.com and sign up now to play the free TalkSport Predictor game. Predict the results of the English Premier League games this season for the chance to win top-flight weekly prizes. From the Gunners getting away goals at Anfield to epic finishes at the Etihad. Click TalkSport.com/predictor and register now for the chance to go top of the table in the Ultimate Football Fan Tournament. The TalkSport English Premier League Predictor game. Available online and for free at TalkSport.com/predictor.
This is Premier League Live.
You are listening to Premier League Live on this Wednesday night football special. We've been live from the brand new Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, where they have beaten Crystal Palace by 2-0. That not the only story of the night, though. Manchester City 2-0 victors over Cardiff to go back top, and Chelsea back to winning ways, beating Brighton at Stamford Bridge by 3-0. Here's the very best of the action. On Chelsea Brighton was Barry Swain. Richard Wolfenden was covering Man City against Cardiff.
Goes back to Laporte. Here he is looking for an option. The Spanish defender, he plays it through brilliantly to De Bruyne. He pulls it across the face of goal and scores from an impossible angle. And Manchester City take the lead.
Up against Knockout. Hudson Odoi, ball in, brilliant finish. And Olivier Giroud. Chelsea ensured their hat is still firmly in the top 4 ring. And on tonight's evidence, they've found a little bit of form too. Brighton came to sit back and spoil a plan that worked for half an hour before Callum Hudson-Odoi on his first Premier League start crossed for Olivier Giroud to score from close range. Only his second Premier League goal of the season. Brighton created very little, and it was long before their first shot on target that they were 3-0 down, thanks to two very good goals in the space of 4 second-half minutes. The first, Eden Hazard waving his wand for his 17th goal of the season with a lovely finish, and then Ruben Loftus-Cheek finding the top corner to score for the second game in succession. Bernardo saw a shot saved late on by Arrizabalaga, and Knockaert had a late chance that he wasted, but Chelsea were already home and hosed by that point. Final score at Stamford Bridge, Chelsea 3, Brighton and Hove Albion 0.
Manchester City and victory for Chelsea. So 3 of the top 6 winning to 0 tonight. Kevin Watson watched the game alongside me at the brand new Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. They made hard work of it, Kev, Tottenham, but they did get the job done.
Yeah, they made hard work of it. Got it done in the end. I think more to do with Palace's lack of firepower, lack of ambition really going forward until the last 5 minutes. It was a comfy 2-0 win without them being at their scintillating, well, not of recent times, but the best of what they've been early on in the season. And even at 1-0, Palace always in with a chance, but they created very little.
They have stopped this terrible run they have been on, just the 1 point from 15 available, 5 games going into tonight. Did they play like a side that hadn't won recently?
I'm not so sure they did. They had the majority of the ball. They did lack creativity until they'd scored the 2 goals in the final third for me, and that is what's been letting them down recently. They've not been scoring the goals, therefore been put in the back line, whether it's been the back three or back forward, putting them under a bit of pressure. But as I say, Palace played into their hands tonight. Not only did they sit in and defend, they were quite poor on the counter-attack throughout the whole game as well.
12 goals in the Premier League this season now for Heung-min Son, despite going off with South Korea twice for 2 separate tournaments. You just wonder what might have happened if he'd have stayed here all season, but he'll always be the man who scored the first goal with the help of Luka Milivojevic at this ground.
Well, let's hope they give him the goal. I think they will. His initial shot was on target. Admittedly, it was going into the other corner, so I'm not sure the dubious goals panel will give that as an own goal to Milivojevic. If anyone deserved to get the first goal in the new stadium, it would be him for his performances throughout the rest of the season, yeah.
Nothing from Harry Kane tonight, though. What do you make of his performance? Bit flat, bit quiet?
Yeah, okay. I mean, I thought he went sort of unnoticed at Anfield on Sunday as well, until he was quick thinking with a free kick and picking it up and hitting a great diagonal ball to Trippier late on. I thought he was quiet in that one. He's had a long season, obviously. He'll need a rest in the summer, that's for sure, but good players are always good players, and he's a great player, so he'll always be a great player for me. He just needs a rest.
What's Harry Kane going to do in the summer without football? What's he going to do with himself? I have no idea.
Can he have a rest? Will he have a rest? Who knows?
Will he start playing for a local five-a-side team?
Possibly.
The Dog and Duck 11 he'll be turning out for.
Possibly.
The Spud You Like Irregulars.
He only lives about 5 minutes from me, or his family home, so I'll probably go and give him a knock, see if he fancies a game.
Playing for the Vets team?
Yeah,
get him out.
Why not?
Listen, 2 other results tonight. Obviously, we've been watching this game, but a quick reaction to those games. Manchester City 2-0 victors over Cardiff. Rested a lot of the star players. Sterling didn't get on. Aguero didn't make it into the squad this evening. And they're back top of the table, a point clear of Liverpool, having played the same amount of games. And once again, we have to say it's theirs to lose.
It certainly is. They were playing catch-up, as they have been, playing later games than Liverpool. If ever they wanted a game to play catch-up, arguably it would be Cardiff, especially after what happened to Cardiff at the weekend. Cardiff would have been targeting, and I thought this all along, that they thought they could beat Chelsea. It seemed that way for a lot of the game, a lot of the time. Only the officials' mistakes cost them the game. Nearly an impossible task going to the Etihad tonight for them.
We'll get more on that with Richard Wolford shortly. We can get a report from Stamford Bridge this evening. Chelsea up against Brighton. Chelsea 3-0 victors in front of Barry Sway.
Chelsea ensured their hat is still firmly in the top 4 ring. And on tonight's evidence, they found a little bit of form too. Brighton came to sit back and spoil a plan that worked for half an hour before Callum Hudson-Odoi, on his first Premier League start, crossed for Olivier Giroud to score from close range. Only his second Premier League goal of the season. Brighton created very little, and it was long before their first shot on target that they were 3-0 down, thanks to 2 very good goals in the space of 4 second-half minutes. The first, Eden Hazard waving his wand for his 17th goal of the season with a lovely finish, and then Ruben Loftus-Cheek finding the top corner to score for the second game in succession. Bernardo saw a shot saved late on by Arrizabalaga, and Knockaert had a late chance that he wasted, but Chelsea were already home and hosed by that point. Final score at Stamford Bridge, Chelsea 3, Brighton and Hove Albion 0.
Temporarily they overtook Spurs in the Champions League positions earlier in the night, but they stayed behind the Gunners and the Lily Whites. Don't use that nickname enough, I love that one, but anyway, this is a personal thing, it's been a long day. But Chelsea winning, they start Giroud, they start Hudson-Odoi, they start Loftus-Cheek, they ring the changes from the old guard, and they get rewarded with a big win.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, a bit like Manchester City, it's a game that most of the Premier League, most football supporters, whoever you're inclined to support, would have thought would have been a home win. You've still got to go out and beat what's in front of you. Pleased for those boys that have started tonight, Giroud, Loftus-Cheek, Hudson-Odoi. They've been chomping at the bit, waiting for a chance. Sorry though, the more people clamber for these guys to get a chance, the more he was leaving them out. Finally he's given their chance, and a comfortable win over Brighton. They've got to keep winning their games, Chelsea.
I wonder what the fans had to say about Sarri Ball this evening. Complimentary, I'm sure.
I'm sure it was, yeah.
Let's go back to the Etihad, shall we? Man City up against Cardiff. It wasn't the cricket score that some would have predicted. City still victorious, though. Let's get a match report with Richard Wolfenden.
A stroll in the park for Manchester City this evening at the Etihad, as you would expect from now title toppers against 18th place Cardiff. Manchester City started like a house on fire, and it was Kevin De Bruyne who gave the home side the lead from a tight angle this evening, hammering it into the roof of the net past Cardiff stand-up performer Neil Etheridge, who has now faced 28 shots on target against City in the club's 3 meetings this season. However, despite save after save after save, there was nothing the Cardiff keeper could do as Leroy Sané smashed home a half volley just before half-time to make it 2. And that was about it. Foden hit the post, Laporte missed a sitter, and Cardiff had their first attempt on goal in the 73rd minute when Oumar Niasse squandered a one-on-one, but the visitors really didn't threaten. No, David Silva, Bernardo Silva, Raheem Sterling or Sergio Aguero this evening, and City still managed 79% possession and 27 attempts on goal. Surely that's the making of champions.
Well, very, very easy, I think it's fair to say, from that match report there from Richard. Cardiff City struggling down the bottom, a walk in the park, as our man says there, for Manchester City. And of course they've got big tests coming up. They've got to come here to face Spurs. They face each other in the league as well. And I suppose, you know, I often complain about weakened teams not playing your best 11s, but Man City with their 4th team probably would have won tonight.
Yeah, I mean, they have an embarrassment of riches there, don't they? Any team he puts out, any concoction of players in any position, it would appear too strong for most teams. Well, 99% of the teams at the minute, with just Liverpool the ones that are pushing them for the title. As you say, it's theirs to lose. I can't see them losing it. I just think they're too good, and possibly the best Premiership team, Premier League team, whatever, that I've ever seen.
You nearly had to pay the Premiership fine there,
yes.
50p every time someone says it. We'll let you off because you recovered so quickly. Briefly on Cardiff, they're still in the bottom 3, the only team in the bottom 3 not as yet relegated, 28 points, 5 behind Burnley and Southampton and Brighton. Are they still in the mix for you, or is it too tall of an ask?
If they'd have hung on against Chelsea, at the weekend, then most definitely they would have been in with a chance. They still are, but they'd have gone to the Etihad tonight more in hope than anything else. You can't go there expecting to win. If you go chasing Manchester City at home, they're going to pick you off. And I would imagine it was very much the Crystal Palace-like performance tonight, just to keep the goal difference down. They'll have other games which they will look at, which they'll target and say, yes, we've got to win this one. 5 points now, is it? It's a big ask at this stage of the season to get out of that.
City back in action on Saturday. I'll be bringing you live action from Wembley Stadium as they take on Brighton in the FA Cup. The other semi-final is on Sunday as Watford take on Wolverhampton Wanderers.
We are in a semi-final against arguably one of the best teams in the world at the moment.
It's met by the head of Aguero, and Sergio Aguero has surely won the game for Manchester City.
The most incredible thing is to be in this position now so far after winning 2 titles and fight for 3 more.
Cooper has put it over the bar. Brighton go through to the FA Cup semi-final. Wolverhampton Wanderers are going through to the semi-final.
It means a lot. The FA Cup, the oldest competition there is.
Clips the ball into Gray. 2-1 Watford.
To achieve a semi-finals in Wembley is, I think we have to enjoy.
Yeah, fantastic FA Cup semi-finals this season. City against Brighton. Of course, City will be favourites, but you never know at Wembley. And the other semi, anyone's guess. Both of those teams, big victors last night. Watford over Fulham to send them down, and Wolves beating Manchester United for the second time in a couple of weeks. Kev, on those semi-finals, let's start with the one on Sunday. Wolves against Watford. You know what? I just love it when someone not in the top 6 wins the FA Cup. It's always, something for me that I think needs to happen to give that competition its lifeblood. It gave the Premier League its lifeblood when Leicester won it a couple of seasons ago. It's great to see everyone got behind them. And I tell you what, if I'm Man City getting through, they probably will, they usually do, I wouldn't want to face Wolves or Watford in the final.
No, absolutely right. And I think the thing that helps the lesser clubs get to these semi-finals, get to finals, is the fact that the big boys just really target the league and the Champions League now. Brighton have been unfortunate in the draw, and you'd like to, well, you wouldn't like to think, you would think that Manchester City will have too much for them on the day and will be in the final. The other one is in the lap of the gods, if you ask me. They've both had terrific seasons, they're both very good football teams. I wouldn't like to call it, that will be a cracker of a game, I think.
City have banned the Q word around their training camp and around their stadium, quadruple. How likely is it from this point that it happens?
It could happen.
Would you put your real money on it?
No, I would not. I would not, because they have tough games. Tottenham, home and away, is not going to be easy in the Champions League. They've still got to play Spurs in the league. Brighton, okay, you'd think they're going to be in the FA Cup final. It's going to be really tough. It's going to be, if they do it, then I think they'll go down as the all-time great team.
Yeah, Brighton for them in the FA Cup at the weekend. Liverpool chasing them down in the Premier League, and Tottenham to face in the Champions League. A very big last few weeks of the season for Manchester City. Premier League action this weekend as well. That doesn't stop because of the FA Cup semi-finals. We are back with you on Friday night. Southampton up against Liverpool is our feature match. Liverpool just simply have to keep on winning. Southampton maybe just one win away from safety. I mean, they have got tough games, Liverpool, and I wouldn't want to go to Southampton.
No, not the way they've picked up. You always knew Southampton had good players, and you wondered why they were down the bottom. Hassan Hurtel's come in, done a real good job with them, and all of a sudden you're seeing performances. Ward-Prowse has not only played his way back into the Southampton team, he's played himself into the England setup as well. So great appointment for them. They've got too much to be in the bottom 3. They won't be going down.
Saturday, 3 Premier League games for you. Our feature match for our international partners is Newcastle up against Crystal Palace. No early game on the Saturday, so we're with you from 2:30 UK time. Also Huddersfield against Leicester and Bournemouth against Burnley. Big game for Burnley, that another team just a few points away from safety now. On Sunday, just the one Premier League game before the Cup game as Everton take on Arsenal, and Monday Night Football is Chelsea against West Ham. Final few seconds of the show, Kev, just a final word on your First impressions of this ground, the first time as a former Spurs man you've covered a game for the new Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. It really has been a tremendous night for all involved with this club.
Yeah, it certainly has. Long time coming, as we said before. Took a long time to build, loads and loads of problems, but it most certainly has been worth the wait, and I think Tottenham have found a new home a few metres from their last one.
Kev, thank you very much indeed. A few metres from his house as well. Very handy for you when Spurs are at home. Maybe not with the traffic though, but that's a whole other problem. That's not our issue, all right? Listen, the night is over. Victories for Manchester City and Chelsea. Very good night for them, but a special night for Tottenham Hotspur. They have beaten Crystal Palace by 2-0 thanks to goals from Heung-min Son and Christian Eriksen. We're back with you on Friday. Preview show is out tomorrow, by the way. Search for that on your podcast devices. You're listening to Premier League Live.
Go to TalkSport.com and sign up now to play the free TalkSport Predictor game. Predict the results of the English Premier League games this season for the chance to win top-flight weekly prizes. From the Gunners getting away goals at Anfield to epic finishes at the Etihad. Click TalkSport.com/predictor and register now for the chance to go top of the table in the ultimate football fan tournament. The TalkSport English Premier League Predictor game. Available online and for free at TalkSport.com/predictor.
If you're outside the UK and Ireland, we've got you covered. TalkSport's international service covers every Premier League match live. Full commentary, pre- and post-match analysis, and goals as they go in from every single Premier League match.
Alderweireld again to return it. Mo Salah in space, hitting goal. Oh, Lloris has missed it. It's gone in. Off Alderweireld, I think, for the own goal. Liverpool back in front with 30 seconds of the 90 minutes to play. Scenes of jubilation, of celebration, of relief more than anything at Anfield. Somehow they have found a way.
Every game is covered. Get involved in debates. Ask in-game questions to our commentary team and get goal updates with @TalkSport Live on Twitter.
Knockout for Brighton, edge of the area, on his left foot. Curly one!
Oh,
it's a stunner! Anthony Knockaert gives Brighton the lead again! In a goal that will be played time and time again. There can't have been too many better hits in this derby over the years. It flies into the top corner, and Matt Ryan flies down the pitch to join in the celebration.
Kick-by-kick commentary, expert opinion, international coverage of the world's most exciting football league.
It's Ward-Prowse! It's in! It's magnificent from James Ward-Prowse. He, like Valeri, has scored for the second game running. It's another magnificent free kick.
Hazard into the corner. What a goal from Eden Hazard. That was brilliant from the Belgian. Chelsea have huffed and puffed, and out of nowhere, an inkling, a tiny gap in the corner, sent a low curling effort beyond Patricio into the left corner of the net. That is brilliant from the little maestro.
Premier League Live, brought to you by TalkSport Live.
The Premier League Preview Show with TalkSport.
Pogba leaves it, Rashford hits it, oh, it's a goal, it's the first goal of the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer era.
TalkSport's Premier League experts give their views ahead of the weekend's action.
Cardiff City legend Danny Gavidan joins us on the preview show. He's got some new teeth. The former Millwall captain Matt Lawrence with us on the preview show. Former Liverpool striker Neil Mellor is on the preview show this week.
Subscribe to the podcast today at TalkSport.com.
This is Premier League Live.
All right. Son Heung-min scored Tottenham's... Should I say the other way? Because I say it that way in commentary. Yes. Yeah, is that right? Yeah. Right. Thanks, mate. Heung-min Son scored Tottenham's first goal at their new... Is it £1 billion stadium? Is that fair to say? I thought it was 750 million. Yes, $1 billion. Might need that bit off. Heung-min Son scored Tottenham's first goal in their new stadium as Maurizio Pochettino's side climbed to third in the Premier League with victory over Crystal Palace. Christian Eriksen added a second from close range to seal a winning start for Spurs after a spectacular firework display before kick-off. A new-look Chelsea cruised to Premier League victory over Brighton Hove Albion thanks to 3 superb goals. Olivier Giroud flicked home Callum Hudson-Odoi's cross before Eden Hazard curled home from the edge of the box from Ruben Loftus-Cheek's pass. The England midfielder then scored an excellent 25-yard strike into the top corner to seal victory. Manchester City moved back above Liverpool at the top of the Premier League after easing to victory against struggling Cardiff City. An 8th successive league win for the defending champions was never in doubt, and after goals from De Bruyne first... An 8th successive league win for the defending champions was never in doubt after goals from Kevin De Bruyne and Leroy Sané.